planning on changing the world just like me. You could be the chairwoman and I'll be the trustee. Let me give all to your benefit. Then I'll get blessed out my deficit.
Hey, I'm Tangiel Johnson, and I am your host for Your Corporate IQ.
And I am Lachez Solage, your co-host.
All right, Lachez, we are here trying to do this yet again. You know what time it is? I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is?
I know what time it is.
Okay, yes, it's time to go to work. Everyone needs that theme music when they are getting ready for corporate and suited and booted. And in the words of Q-Tip, I like to say, high, low, or even open toe, girl, put your heels on, because that's what we're here to do. Um, in addition, I am super, super excited to tell you who we have in the studio. But Lachez, go ahead. I wanted to know, do you have your pearls? Are you ready before we bring them
Yeah,
on?
I'm ready. I have my pearls, I got my heels. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome, awesome. Well, before we start, I have a disclaimer, and that is the views expressed on this show, Your Corporate IQ, by us and or our guests are totally a reflection of our own views and not that of any company or other organization. And with that said, thank you for joining us here at Your Corporate IQ podcast, where we will discuss the pearls and the perils of corporate America. And I am super, super excited, like I said before, to introduce to some and others Mr. Jerome Hurt, founder and CEO of Buy Black for Life. I just saw your video again, Jerome, and you were saying it again, Buy Black for Life, Buy Black for Life. I said, we
I,
got a rap right here.
That's right.
But
I
Buy Black for Life is a social media platform servicing the Black and Brown community. Jerome is a published writer with a piece of in the anthology 2020, The Year That Changed America. Uh, and he was in the company of other folks like Nikki Giovanni, Eve, formerly Eve Ensler of the Vagina Monologues, and activist, poet, writer, and author Kevin Powell. And lastly, I wanted to say this. I did not know that you received such a prestigious award from the International Institute to Improve Race Relations, the Trailblazer for Positive Change Award.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you,
Congratulations.
thank,
Welcome, Jerome.
thank you. It's good to be here. I'm excited. Anytime I have an opportunity to share my wisdom, I'm ready to do so.
Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome. We're excited. Thank you for joining us once again. Excited to hear about all the fantastic things you're doing. And so we're going to get right into it if you're ready.
Ready.
He's ready.
Awesome. Okay. So let's jump in. Tell us about your journey and why you took the stance on advocating for POC, the POC community in specific.
Well, I'm gonna start with my journey at age 11 years old when my mother actually, um, here in New York, had me sit in a room with 13, 14-year-olds who were prospective fathers, believe it or not. And she just
Mm,
wanted me to be able to speak about my life and allow the young men to be able to speak about their lives. Um, After that, I realized that my voice, even at that young age, is going to be a voice that is going to uplift people and uplift our community. I'm also a 30 plus year financial professional, and I took that area of expertise in working with wealthy clients. Um, what I learned from that is that wealthy clients that don't look like us use their money to support policies and politicians that seek to keep our communities down and oppressed. So it was during the pandemic And June 6th made exactly 3 years that I decided I was going to create a platform on social media to support Black businesses to be able to market their products and communities to the Black and Brown community. I had no idea it was going to grow into what it would become. And, I decided, listen, God has a reason for this. Therefore, let me expand upon it and be responsible with the platform and
Mm,
empower more people. Because as a professional, I do know the Black dollar leaves the Black community faster than every other ethnic group. It leaves in
mm.
6 hours, where in the next fastest ethnic group is 17 days. So what that means is that we don't have the ability, for example, to own our homes, own our businesses, own our education, own our retirement. And I also saw where I hear the term hood rich. We will buy things that make us look rich, but then if you were to dig deep with individuals who want to look rich, you'll recognize that their bank accounts do not reflect what it is that they look like. And truth be told, working with wealthy clients, they don't spend the money on the things that those of us who are not wealthy spend our money on.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great place for me to kind of segue in. So in dealing with non-POC clients, did you find that there was so much information that's not shared with our community? Is that in part what kind of inspired you to launch your business?
Absolutely. And believe it or not, that's in working with these individuals. So initially, there's no trust factor there because here I am, a Black man. Especially, I had lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, being what they called a city slicker when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm a New Yorker. There was there was no trust there. They didn't trust me, so I knew I had to bring my A game. I knew that. And once I did, and there was that level of trust, now not only was I able to pour into them my knowledge to help them reach their goals, they were also pouring back into me with knowledge of how to get to where they are. So, absolutely. And it is about resources, it is about lack of information, it's also about misinformation as to how things work, how money works, um, how we should be going about investing in our community. So, absolutely, there is that misinformation.
Awesome,
Mhm.
awesome. And then with that, what is, again, from a definition standpoint, what is financial literacy to you and empowerment? What do those two things mean to you?
Wow, that's a amazing question. So, literacy, right? And it's hard for me to give you a specific definition, but this is the example I give of literacy. When we think of lotto, right? And we think of professional athletes, lotto, more than 90% of the people who win these grand prizes go broke, right? Professional athletes, more than 70% of professional athletes 3 years after retirement actually file for bankruptcy. That's not a cash flow issue. That's a literacy issue, meaning they don't have the ability or the knowledge of what it is to do with their money to make their money last for future generations. So I guess it's that understanding of how, what to do with my money and how to invest my money, how to make my money go further, that is lacking. As far as empowerment, I think when we look at the previous administration that we had, that's empowerment because some of the things, for example, and I don't want to get into politics, but some of the things that we look at that this person is being accused of because of money, he is able to still continue to be free. Where
Mhm.
if I don't have money and I could be accused of the same things, then I have to serve my time behind jail. Also, empowerment means I am going to, there are communities here in New York that don't look like us, that they come together with their finances and actually they're able to build up together. So there's that empowerment of empowering others. You empower someone in different ways. I can empower someone in many different ways. I choose to by having a platform so that they can empower themselves.
Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, very good. Did you have a question there for him too, Tangio?
No, it's more of a comment. You know that saying where they say, "I can teach you how to fish. I can go get you some fish, or I can teach you how to fish." You prefer to teach them how to do it themselves. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yes, because that'll make them be able to fish and feed themselves forever.
Yes,
If doing it for them, um, I'm not going to be here forever, right?
that's
So
right.
I'm not going to be around forever. And if I'm doing it for them when I am no longer there to fill that space, then they could end up not being able to do. So I would
Right.
rather teach. And, you know, I love being able to teach. I love mentoring young people. I mentor 45 young men, and you know I love it. And these are kids that I started mentoring as their basketball coach
Mm.
back in 2002 2003, and here we
Wow.
are 2023. These young men are now husbands, they're fathers, they are professionals just like I am. So you transition from a father figure to still a father figure, but now as a mentor, someone that they could bounce. The conversations obviously change from when they were young men to where they are now, and it is an awesome feeling to be able to um, pour into other lives. It really is.
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. So, what do you think are some of those basic kind of fundamental principles and truths that we must know as POCs? I know you can't give away all the secrets because that's a part of your services, but just a few principles there.
One of the most important things that, and I see this in our community, and it hurts me to my heart. And I remember one of the members of Houdini, this happened with him. Houdini, the rap group, old school rap group, when one of the members died, his family had to do a what is that online thing for to raise
Go
money,
go
GoFund
fund me.
GoFundMe for his funeral.
Mm.
People don't understand that how vital life insurance is. Now, I'm not buying life insurance to make my children rich. There is that mindset that people think, you know, I'm going to get all of this money for life insurance to make my children rich. No, that's not what it's for. You buy life insurance so that you don't have to go fund me. You could have life insurance, and you know, when I think financially of of when I'm sitting down with a client and I'm talking about their finances, I start from the top of the house down. And the last thing that I say to them, none of what we discussed works unless it starts with the foundation of life insurance, because all of that
Mm.
could fail if we are not upheld by having life insurance. So, um, GoFundMe is not life insurance.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
It brought to my heart to actually see that, and it happened in my own family, you know. So we have to get out of that mindset. And also, life insurance is not as expensive as some may believe, depending
Yeah.
upon
Mm.
the type of life insurance that you may purchase. And we all
Mm.
have to prepare for the inevitable, right? None of us are here forever. So we
Right.
have to prepare for the inevitable and whatever those needs may be for our children, and they change along the way. So definitely, life insurance is something that's lacking in our community. Life insurance and investing, and you know how many clients who look like us, I would try to get them into investing into the stock market, and I taught them we're just going to take little bites, and then you're going to become comfortable with it. And you know their response was, "Well, I'm not gambling my money away." And
Mm.
me, a professional who's devoted my entire professional life to it, I kind of get insulted. I'm like, this isn't Vegas. This is not Vegas. And, our people, our community are missing, the boat. When the stock market is low is when, so beginning of the pandemic, when the market started to go low, that's when I heard from people that look like us about getting out of the market, right?
Mm.
Where should have
Right.
been from our people who had some income, some monies, if they had monies. And I want to be clear, I don't want to insult anybody. If they had money to invest, that should have been the time to invest, because with things going down, you're buying it at a lower price. And
Right.
inevitably, it does go back up. You would see a significant increase in your money if you had invested at that time. But our people, our community has a mindset of, no, let me sell when the market is low. No, you buy low and you sell high. And that's a
Right. Buy on the dip, right? You buy on the dip, right, Jerome?
right. And you know, so many people, I'm saying to them, and I'm saying this on my deathbed because I almost died from COVID. I'm saying to them, stop. Don't call me. If you have money to invest, then invest. Otherwise, leave it alone. Just allow it to go back up. And it was interesting that a year later, so many of them would call me and say, thanks, I really appreciate it. But, you know, it's all about understanding, and that comes with literacy as well. It
Yes.
comes with
Hmm.
um, you know, understanding, and with that literacy, it's I'm buying in at different times. My stock today may be 90, tomorrow it may be 50, but at the end of the day, it's going to get me to my end goal. So everything refers back to literacy, to be honest with you. But
Hmm.
insurance,
Perfect. Well,
we got to have that.
that's
We have
the key.
insurance as the foundation in order to start really preparing our people.
Awesome. What methodologies or tools or software should our community, should our people be kind of using to develop their skills in this area?
Know if there, um, I don't know if there are any um tools that are out there, but um, let me start with this. If you're working, you should have a 401k, right? Or 403b.
Hmm.
You work for a nonprofit. That's where you start, right? And when you start there and you're investing in your 401k or 403b, now all of a sudden you have a relationship with the company that is administering that plan. And as they're administering that plan, you're reaching out to them not only about your plan, but other things that they could possibly help you with. You're already a client. You're doing already what it is that you have to do by investing in your 401k or 403b. You're a client. And some of the things that they're going to ask you, what one of the first things I always ask people about is being properly allocated. Well, what does that mean? Well, when I was young, I the first 403 401k I had, I put everything in the money market, thinking
Mm, okay.
market. That wasn't making money. It just was, and I'm young, so therefore I can stand more risk because I have what we call a longer window before I get to retirement. So I can take more risk early. Um and I didn't have the knowledge at that time, the literacy to be able to properly um, allocate my monies. I've made up for that by really getting licensed and understanding this stuff so that I could be properly allocated. But then, paying attention to what it is that I have. I read, where is my money going? If my money is going into X fund, what are the investments in X fund? And can I now buy individual stock in some of the individual companies that X fund is investing in? All of that
Hmm.
advice and assistance, if you have a 401k, or if not, a trusted financial advisor, they're going to help you with that. I mean, you know, we're here for a reason. We may more so insurance people may have a bad reputation, but we are here to guide people, and we don't just off of the top of our head come up with how to allocate you. We are licensed to give you advice via a system that our company would have, and it's also based upon your answers to questions that we're going to ask you that we come up with that.
Tangia?
Good. Yeah, I'm so, psyched about this information right here because to your point, Jerome, it all starts with financial literacy. And when you don't have it, for those that are about to retire and they have no financial literacy, maybe they did get the 401k, but now they don't know what to do with it. They need a financial advisor, but they're afraid to trust somebody with what little piece of money they were able to capture in their latter years. So, what would you suggest they do to prepare to even talk with a financial advisor?
First thing, you could actually go online and you could look at a financial advisor, see if there's any complaints.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Important, you know,
Okay.
somebody you trust. Our industry is highly, highly regulated. I mean, if I do anything wrong, it puts my professional licenses at risk. I,
Okay.
you want to start there.
Yeah.
Um, then, obviously, a trusted company. Again, I'm going to say most of us work and most of us have 401ks. So to me, it's very easy to be able to contact that company and get a wide array of the options that you have in retirement. Right? I'll give you an example. The company that I worked for most of my career, we managed to teach the retirement for teachers and professors, and the products that we had are called annuities. And annuities are basically products that you have different phases in life. You have the phase where you're contributing or accumulating, and then you have the phase where you're going to take payouts, right? So I sat with a client, for example, who had a bunch of money, but he wasn't ready to start tapping into it as but he had a specific need. He knew there was a gap when he retired. He had a specific need in order to fulfill that gap. So what I said to him
Mm-hmm.
is, well, you don't have to take from here. You can do what we call systematic withdrawals for that $1,000 a
Mhm.
month you need from here, and
Yes.
that close that gap for you. And he was like, wait, what? I could do that? I'm like, yes. He just did not. So there are many options that you have that you have available to you. So when you sit with someone
Sure.
when you're to retirement, you have that conversation. Also, that person is going to, based upon what you see your life to be in retirement, they're going to tell you you're ready to retire, right?
Right.
Most of us aren't.
Right.
Let's be real. Most of us aren't.
Right.
Also, let's understand something. You only need about 80% of what you are making as you're working in retirement. That other 20% that you don't need, for example, listen, I like to look good when I go to work, right? So I'm constantly getting suits, shoes. I mean, now all of a sudden, if I'm not working, I don't need to do as much shopping for clothes, right? Gas.
Mhm.
Right.
You're not going to be traveling every single day, or if you're in New York, public transportation. You don't need as much, right? So there are different things that you have to consider when you get to retirement that you would not have to consider while you're working. So it's just a matter of sitting down and recognizing what those needs are. I don't have to pack lunch every day. I'm cheap. I will not buy lunch. I I don't like it. It's $25, $30 for lunch.
Yeah.
I don't. I could. I'm a doggone good cook, as is my wife. So I'm going to take leftovers, right? So, and then what I do is, and this is a game I play, whatever it is that I would have normally paid, put that away because I've saved by taking lunch. There are days I do treat myself. Don't get me wrong, but you know, you won't need to. Um, I won't need to worry about having money set aside. For example, if you pay for lunch every day, I don't need to do that. So it's so many different things that you would need to consider, and
Sure.
it's a matter of sitting down and going over those things.
Thank you. That's
Awesome.
great.
So, yeah, some people say it's a cliche that the best time to start a business is during an economic downturn, right? So that's the cliche.
Mm.
In 2020, with the pandemic, how did you create a business during one of the worst times in the country's history, country, world that we've ever seen? Never faced this. How do you start a business in that environment? Or how
Really,
did you?
I went into it not thinking it would be a business. I'm going to be honest with you. Just being real with you, I never. If you had told me 3 years ago that Buy Black for Life would be what it is today, I would have said, "Yeah, get out of here," right? Because I never manifested it. I never prayed for this is what I want. I never went in thinking that it would be that. Maybe a month in, I said, "Okay, this is what it is." So therefore, I knew what I had, and I'm extremely analytical. Like very analytical, and I move in purpose. I don't just move for the sake of moving. Therefore, I knew when we started it was Buy Black 2020. I knew it couldn't stay Buy Black 2020 as it was growing. So I did the underground work to lock down the name, trademark the name, everything virtually that is Buy Black for Life. I own it. Um, Once we got a green light from the government to be able to move forward with it, we put it out there. Another thing that I did was I knew those individual people don't know me, right? They don't know who Jerome Hurt is, you know. So there are certain things I couldn't ask of people. I had to gain their trust, and I gained their trust in quite a few ways. Number one, I would just pick out a business owner that I saw was doing amazing, and I would have them, like you have me, on a podcast, just having a conversation about, their business and what their thoughts were. Representation matters, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the intent was for them to tell our audience about what it is that they were doing. And also, my audience that was watching, it was like, well, if I could be that ordinary person that's going to do amazing, maybe I could be a part of this as well. So that allowed me to gain trust. And the reason I was trying to do that trust because I knew down the line I was going to have an app. And once we had the app is only successful if people download it and people use it, which have downloaded it and people are using it because now they trust who I am 3 years down the line. So I wish I had a better answer as to how. I just think listening to my business owners and fulfilling a need, um,
Hmm.
falling into a lane and also what I love, when I talk to business owners, my first question is, what's your why? Why do you
Ah,
want
okay,
to
good.
what right? And
Yeah.
my why was because I wanted to empower our community, right? And when you have that love of what your why is, it comes out in every single thing that you do. No matter what your product, no matter what your service is, when you have that why, that means you have your passion for what it is that you're doing, and your passion comes out. Your passion comes out no matter who you're talking to. Even if I never talk to you, but I receive your product and I receive it in a box, packaging, your passion is going to come through in that.
Mm.
So I'm very intentional about what my why is. And my why was
Mm,
to fill a lane that I was going to empower our people.
awesome. What financial and business steps should one take when you're leaving a corporation and starting a business?
The financial part. Well, I think it's more than just financial. Can I just say that?
Sure.
Of course.
first things you need to do as you're starting a business is find out who your target audience is. Who am I trying to target? Also, again, have that why, very important. But who am I targeting, right? Then do the work. So as a basketball coach, right, I always taught my kids the work that you do that nobody sees in practice is going to pay off when you're playing, right? So do the work behind the scenes that nobody's seeing. Make sure that your products are tight. Everything that you do is tight. Make sure you have trademarked your name, your business. Make sure all of that is set. Make sure your payment systems, whatever it is that you're going to use for your payment systems, is set up. For example, we learned that you should not use Cash App as a business. There were business owners out here
Hmm.
that you could pay their business via Cash App. Well, there's an issue with that. Number one, if I have an issue with my product, or people unfortunately would get scammed out of their money, 100% of the time it was via Cash App. I got scammed out of my money. It was with trying a business on my own platform. It was because of Cash App. If so, ensure that you're serious about it by having the proper structure to your business. Then after that, ensure that, like, never pass up an opportunity to be in a room to hear about how to grow your business. Never pass that
Awesome.
up. Because there could be somebody in that room who is looking to back you. There could be somebody in that room that could take your idea to the next level. So never pass up on that opportunity. Also, never pass up on any opportunity to have a conversation about what you do, right? I tell business owners all the time, I am never nervous about talking about Buy Black for Life because I've already rehearsed it in my head, everything that I'm going to say to someone. So there are very few things that someone could come to me and say that I haven't already practiced on it in my head. I'm manifesting that me and Barack Obama are gonna sit down and have a conversation. Like I'm manifesting that, and I already
I
know
love
what I'm going to ask him and what he will ask me. As far as the money piece is concerned, in every community, everywhere we are, um, banks, for example, in our communities, they have to invest in businesses. They have to do it.
Okay.
It's called the Community Reinvestment Act, right? So banks have to have a certain amount of the deposits on record that they invest into the businesses in their community. So you start there. Also, become a member of the Chamber of Commerce in your community because there's also financing there that you can get. And my most important thing is grants, grants, grants. Because um, I I love what I do. I've put in a lot of work in what I do. Um, I don't know if I necessarily want investors being a part of it because I don't know if they're going to take me off what it is that my vision is for this. So it's all about grants instead of investors, for me at least. But if there are people that are looking for that, then so be it. But so that's just the way that I see it, and because it starts with not just money, it starts with those things that people don't see that you should be working on.
pearls. So many pearls. Love it.
Definitely, definitely. Let me just ask you one thing. I mean, what are you kind of the most proud of in this work?
Oh wow, a lot. You know, I when I started this, there were people that didn't think it would work,
Mm.
and not only people that didn't think it would work, I had haters in my own family,
Oh, wow.
and
Wow.
because of me, remember I said I'm analytical,
Hmm.
so I'm listening to them why it's not going to work, and I created something to answer every question that they had. I have one family member in particular that I would purposely call him to get the hate. I love him, but I knew there was that from him. You know, we all have that in our family. I don't care who you are. family,
Okay.
friend, coworker. We have the doubting Debbie. Every one of us, doubting Debbie or Dave. Every one of us has that in our lives. So I would listen to the haters and build it in a way where I would answer every response that they have.
Wow.
So when I did that, and maybe months down the line, those doubters now wanted to be a part of it. I'm now referring people to it. So
Wow.
that told me this is dope. This is amazing. Um, the most important thing for me that we did, it involved young people. So we turned over the entire group to young kidpreneurs. This is kids 20,
Kidpreneurs.
yeah, 20 or younger who are business owners. And we said to them, whatever you got, we want to hear it. It was probably the most amazing thing ever. It taught me that because I mean, I never thought I would. If when I was young, nobody ever told me I could become a business owner. There was kids as young as 7 years old, and I have videos of them talking about their businesses. There's
Hmm.
one young kid who, through his business, um, he was assisting others in he was assisting others in Flint, Michigan, with water.
Mm.
With his business, he was bringing water to their community. I think that's absolutely amazing. So
Wow.
being able to reach the young people, and they call me Uncle Jay. I'm Uncle Jerome to them. And being able to help them with their business and support their business, for me, the best thing ever, to me and for me.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners to get in contact with you? And is there something in particular that you've kind of launched recently here that you want to share as well?
Yes, without a doubt. First way you could find me is Buy Black for Life. Buy Black, the number 4 Life. Um, we are everywhere on social media. My email address is buyblackforlife@gmail.com. Also, what I'm proud of that we recently launched is our app. The app, we just are about just below 400 businesses since we went live on Google Play and Apple App Store. And
Wow.
what I love about it is when I think of what our community is we love to eat. We have the most amount. We have over 100 restaurants throughout the world on there.
Wow.
Our community, we about our hair. We have so many barbershops, salons. I love that. We are about travel. I just got maybe about 10 to 15 black hotels throughout the world. I'm not talking about
Oh, awesome.
here in the US. I'm talking about throughout the world. And my wife and I, we are travelers. When I say we are travelers, I mean we take vacations. We did 3 weeks ago. We were in London to see Beyonce. Then we did 2 days in Paris.
Nice.
That's like a normal trip a weekend for us. Like going across Africa. I have so many people on the continent of Africa. I made a connection with someone who's going to link us with black business owners in Nigeria. It's
Mm.
my
Mm.
dream that I reach out to my business owners for them to contribute to stuff that I want to take onto the continent. I want us to be able to bring us together. Uh, my wife and I, we went to Kenya, and it was the most amazing vacation time I ever had in this world. I want us to be a part of the diaspora. It's vitally important that we connect with our people that are over there. Um, it'll build a sense of pride for our young people. It's my dream. I'm working with another organization. It's my dream to start taking young people over there. This organization is called Birthright Africa, where they take students to Africa for them to reclaim their birthright. When you there is another ethnic group that got reparations where they get one free trip back home. We need that. So
Yeah.
until we get that, we need to use organizations like Birthright to take our young people over to Africa so they can understand where they came from. Because I feel once you get that, you walk with a certain sense of pride where you know where you came from.
Awesome. I guess
Absolutely.
one more question on this path here. Just make it clear for us as our listeners are reaching out and signing up for the app. What is it really doing for the subscriber? Is it more of an aggregator? Is this just a one-stop shop for our community to access Black-owned businesses? Talk to the listeners a little bit about the app and how and what they can expect there.
So the app is basically a Black Yelp where you'll be able to find Black businesses throughout the world. And it was beautiful because I only thought it was going to be here in the United States. When my app developer said no, because it's built through Google, you'll be able to use this throughout the world. It also allows individuals. Let's say you have an event where you are, right. We can put something in the app, and individuals that are in your area that have the app, they'll be notified of your event.
Awesome. That is really amazing. That's awesome. Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
It's
and
it's
it's just what? Say that
I'm sorry.
again, Jerome.
It is definitely a blessing. Again, something I never saw, anticipated, manifested, but you know, God has he has a sense of humor. He really does. His sense of humor is like, okay, here I come for you. You've been
Yep.
doing things for your people, and it was also me, realizing I can't be in the streets marching anymore. These young people, they are on fire. I can't keep up. So, now that I have this platform, I'm using it responsibly, and I'm keeping it for what it is, and that's about the betterment and uplifting of our community.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm speechless. I have no words. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I think connecting us to the diaspora in this way, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I'm really
Mhm.
happy for you, and I look to hear about all the great things that you're doing with the app, but it sounds fantastic, and I know the listeners will all sign up. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Yes.
you. And
And
again,
thank you.
all you have to do if via Google Play or the Apple App Stores, just search for Buy Black for Life, and it'll come right up. It'll take you seconds to download. If you have your business of your own, on the bottom line is a check mark. You just press that check mark and input all of your business information. Vet the businesses, and we let every business owner who does that know your business is now part of the Buy Black for Life family.
Wonderful. Excellent. We'll be signing up soon.
Let's go.
Yes, yes, I
Come on,
will. I will.
let's go. More the merry.
Awesome. Yes. So, with that said, Jerome, again, we thank you so very much for your time today. We have so many gems, so many pearls. I don't even know if we got any pearls, but tons of pearls to share with the world. And we just want to say to all of our listeners, remember to stay tuned for more episodes of your Corporate IQ podcast. We're interested in hearing from you. Send us more topics. This will not be the only time that Mr. Hurt will be online with us. There's more topics to come. So Stay tuned, and thanks again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
High, low, close or open toe. You be looking good when you rock 'em, so put your heels on, girl. Them heels on, lady. Hit your ground hard, you drive me crazy. Palms get sweaty, I'm imagining things. When I see what reality brings, I get choked from your vision uncomparable. So dumb, man, I could write a parable. Killing when I go back to my rat hole living. Michelangelo, you on the ceiling.